Good morning, cadets of class 8. This is your program coding introduction of chapter 6 of class 8, chapter 6 of class 8, program coding. So it's a continuation of, it is a very logical chapter, and it is a programming chapter basically, which is linked with the algorithms and flowcharts of the last chapter, 5th chapter. Okay, so we slowly will go with this chapter and program coding with the Java by using the software called BlueJ. Okay, for the requirements of the Java and what are the requirements to unit installed in your system, and what the software you need to install, that I will slowly. First we'll discuss about basics of program coding, what is the need of programming coding, why we need of program coding, that all things we'll discuss. So in the previous chapter we discussed about algorithms and flowchart. What is the purpose of algorithm, that we seen. So why algorithm is needed, so that you seen. So algorithm is nothing but a step by step process to solve any problem, so that you know. To solve any problem, so algorithm तो problem solve करने के लिए हम लोग तो instructions तो starting में लिख देते हैं. So to solve any problem, the solving phase में तो बोलता है algorithm, but उसका जो problem का जो implementation है, so that we done with the help of the programming only. So the problem जो implementation है, that we done with the help of program coding by using any of the programming languages which are available with you. So whatever the problem you face, whatever the real world problem which you done, so that can be done using with the help of the programming language. So algorithm is the basic step which solves about the solving the problem. So I can say program design में so mainly two phases होगा. एक होगा problem solving phase और एक होगा implementation phase. So problem solving जो phase है, so that is nothing but algorithm and flowchart जो process और pseudo code जो है, so वो सब problem solving phase में है. So implementation है, the implementation is done by using the particular programming language. That can be done by using the coding. So that is nothing but coding. So in developing algorithm, so we've seen the several steps. आप लोग सेवरल स्टेप्स देखा होगा. दैट इज फर्स्ट तो हम लोग पहले प्रॉब्लम का डिस्क्रिप्शन लेना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद प्रॉब्लम को एनालाइज करना पड़ता है. देन आफ्टर वील डेवलप एन एल्गोरिथम, दैट इज अ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग फेज. once you develop algorithm, we define algorithms by adding some details or to delete some details होगा. then after coding implementation phase होगा. then after review करेगा और testing करेगा. so that is the last step. So these are the phases involved in the developing of algorithm and developing of the program. So how to implement the algorithm into practically. So अभी तक आप लोग तो मैं आप लोग जो सीखा था जो 5th चैप्टर में, वो तो है आप लोग लिखने में देखा और जो है फ्लो चार्ट से ड्रॉ करने में आप लोग को देखा. बट जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इज डन विद द हेल्प ऑफ द प्रोग्राम कोडिंग. सो ये प्रोग्राम कोडिंग क्या है, व्हाट इज प्रोग्राम, व्हाई वी नीड द प्रोग्राम, इज कंपल्सरी वी नीड द प्रोग्रामिंग इंस्ट्रक्शंस. तो प्रोग्रामिंग हम लोग सीखना जरूरत है. सो व्हाई वी नीड, सो दैट वी टॉक. ओके, so for example, what is program? So program means you know that it's a set of instructions. Program is nothing but a set of instructions. Program is called set of instructions. It is called set of instructions. It is called set of instructions which we write to perform the specific task. So algorithm में मान लीजिए हम देखा था कि जैसा कि हम लोग ये देखा था calculating write an algorithm for finding the area of rectangle. तो उसमें हम लोग क्या क्या दिया था, पहले तो स्टार्ट करके लिया था, उसके बाद हम लोग ने इनपुट लिया था. क्या क्या इनपुट किया था, जो एरिया ऑफ रेक्टेंगल में हम लोग को क्या क्या इनपुट चाहिए, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए लेंथ चाहिए, ब्रेथ चाहिए. सो लेंथ ब्रेथ को हम लोग डिक्लेयर किया था. उसके बाद हम लोग ने एल वैल्यूज एंड बी वैल्यू वी एंटर्ड. देन आफ्टर वी डन दैट इज प्रोसेसिंग, दैट इज एरिया के लिए, एरिया स्टोर करने के लिए एक वेरिएबल दैट इज a into a is equal to L into B. Then after we printed the area. So in this way we done that program. So ये जो program जो है, so why we need, so where are these are being used? So आप लोग जो मोबाइल में देख रहे हैं, आप जो कंप्यूटर में और जो सर्च इंजन में और वेदर फोरकास्टिंग में और जो गेमिंग में, so आप लोग मोबाइल एप्लीकेशंस में which you are using, so the back end is nothing but a programming one. So हम लोग को प्रोग्रामिंग इतना है कि आजकल का आप लोग पता नहीं चलेगा कि हर एक मॉड्यूल में है. जो जैसा कि आप लोग IRCTC टिकट बुकिंग करता होगा, तो टिकट बुकिंग करते समय में तो पीछे एक प्रोग्रामिंग लिखा हुआ है. जैसा कि आप लोग कुछ गूगल में कुछ सर्च कर रहे हैं, तो सर्चिंग के लिए सर्चिंग का एक एल्गोरिदम और सर्चिंग बैक में एक प्रोग्राम लिखा हुआ और एक ऐप यूज कर रहा था। ऐप में जब क्लिक करेगा तो ये हो रहा है, वो आगे नेक्स्ट बटन क्लिक करने से वो पेज आ रहा है। दैट्स ऑल्सो बिहाइंड दैट देयर इज वन प्रोग्रामिंग ओनली। so why we need this program? so for example, आजकल जो मॉडर्न एज का जो मशीन्स है, जैसा कि आपका देख रहा होगा फ्रिज में, वॉशिंग मशीन में और एसी में, so you are controlling with the help of the programming only, which is called as embedded programming, which they made very simple and easy. Okay, programming languages mainly they will resolve the real world problems, and they will make our life very simple and easy. So computer is one machine which is can automated many things. So computer जो है एक machine है which can be automated many things. So although computers they are performing many tasks, but very fast, but everything we need to told to them. मतलब हम लोग जो इंस्ट्रक्शन देंगे उसी के हिसाब से जो कंप्यूटर स्टार्ट वर्किंग, ऐसा ना। सो कंप्यूटर के हम लोग जो बोलेगा, सो दैट ओनली दे विल वर्क। सो जैसा कि आपने जो इनपुट ने लेंथ ब्रेड्थ लिखा था, सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट दे विल एंटर एल वैल्यू, मतलब इट टेक्स द लेंथ एंड ब्रेड्थ एंड कैलकुलेट द एरिया इज इक्वल टू लेंथ इनटू ब्रेड्थ। so this is the way, मतलब what needs to be done, that only we have to do, and what data they have to work upon, that also we have to do, and what result or output we are expecting and we have to produce, that also we have to do. So computer is a machine which cannot do on its own, and it is having no IQ itself. So everything we need to program for the particular language, or the particular program, and whatever the problem. So if you are implementing in the programming by using the computer, so each and instruction should be very clear, and what should be, what you are what is the need of your requirement, and what data you have to work upon, and what result or output you have to produce from the program, that should be clear from your side. So before going that, will go into some programming languages, how they are classified. So programming languages, so broadly they are classified into so low level language and high level language, so which we discussed in our class 6 only. So that is 1GL, 2GL, 3GL करके 4GL करके हम लोग जो discuss किया था. So 1GL is nothing but a machine language, that is a computer machine language which understands only zeros and ones only. So computer जो starting जो language है, it is a machine language only. उसको तो जीरोस वंस छोड़ के बाकी कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा। जो जो आप लोग जो लिखता है, जैसा कि आप इंग्लिश लिखेगा और नंबर्स लिखेगा, वो सब फिर जीरोस एंड वंस को कन्वर्ट करके फिर कंप्यूटर को समझने में आएगा। सो व्हाट इज द एफिशिएंसी और एडवांटेज ऑफ दिस मशीन लैंग्वेज इज दैट इट इज एफिशिएंसी एंड स्पीड इन द प्रोसेसिंग। ओके, इट इज एफिशिएंसी, एफिशिएंट, स्पीड इन प्रोसेसिंग। डिसएडवांटेजेस क्या है? तो प्रोग्रामर को बहुत डिफिकल्ट है कि हर बार जीरोस एंड वंस के डील करना है। सो कोडिंग इज द मशीन लैंग्वेज एक्सट्रीमली cumbersome and complicated task, so that it prone to errors. So हर बार आप लोग zeros and ones से deal करेगा, so error आने का बहुत chances है। That's why so programming in the machine language is very difficult. Then they founded some new language called as a assembly language. This is called a second generation language. So it is similar to English like language which we being used. So this is called a symbolic programming language, and it is also comes under low level language, and it uses special words called mnemonics. So this is called as a mnemonics. This is called as mnemonics. This is the special mnemonics. Okay, they use the English like sentences like add, so मतलब multiply, LOC मतलब locating in a particular address. So ऐसा कि they used some words, keywords. These words are called as a mnemonics. Okay, so how this language again will convert into machine language. Computer तो machine ही है, तो machine को फिर machine language कैसे convert होता है? By using the special language processor called as a assembler. So assembler के द्वारा से जो mnemonics आप लोग जो लिखा था वो फिर machine language में convert होगा. Okay, as a being a machine, using a computer machine, it understands only the machine language. That way it converts um, from the assembly language to machine language by using the assembler. Then what are the advantages of this machine language? So machine language का जो assembly language का जो advantage, it's very powerful and efficient, and it is very fast and small program and size and flexible. So this language is popularly used at microprocessor level, mainly used for the system coding और system का जो settings के लिए वो सब के लिए use हो. So disadvantage is what? It is not very user friendly and not easily understandable. थोड़ा सा syntax से rules and regulations से थोड़ा सा hard. Okay, next one, high level language. High level language is a third generation language. Right now the present generation language जो है third generation of language which we are using. So they are the main languages which is like आपका जो इंग्लिश लाइक सेंटेंसेस में न्यूमेरिकल्स, अल्फा न्यूमेरिक लैंग्वेज, सब चीज इसमें आ सकता है. तो जैसा कि ह्यूमन को जो समझ में आता है, पंक्चुएशन मार्क्स, ऑल चीज ये सब लोग हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज में होगा. So high level language में procedure languages are used to solve the problems and are often used to describe the problem oriented languages. So they focus on method how to solve the problem. So procedure language, that is high level language, they'll concentrate on the how to solve the problem. In the high level languages, so they are written in the language which is closer to the user. So high level language में जो जैसा कि जो human को जो समझ में जो आता है, so वो language में लिखा है. So that's why it is having its own rules and specific and language, that is called as syntax. So every language, कोई भी language को, कोई भी regional language है, कोई भी आप लोग का भाषा है, so हर एक language का अपना अपना words होगा, अपना अपना नियम होता है. In the same way computer का language का भी अपना अपना words है और अपना अपना rules है. वो rules को बोलते हैं syntax. Okay, the rules and regulations for each and every programming language is called as syntax. This is very important, syntax. So every instruction that a programmer writes in this language, which is known as translate into machine language using the language processor known as the compiler or interpreter. So whatever the instructions which you are writing in the language, this particular high level language is converted into the machine language using the language processor, language translator, uh, uh, language processor, or language translator using the compiler or interpreter. So for example, in the case of the machine language, as a computer being a machine, it understands only zeros and ones only. उसके बाद उसमें प्रोग्राम कोडिंग करने में बहुत डिफिकल्ट लग रहा था, इसलिए असेंबली लैंग्वेज आया. असेंबली लैंग्वेज में क्या प्रॉब्लम था? असेंबली लैंग्वेज में तो फास्ट है, बट इट इज नॉट सो यूजर फ्रेंडली एंड नॉट इजी फॉर ऑल. ओके, and we used the language processor or language translator to convert the assembly language to machine language by using assembler. And in the case of high level language it is simple as it is like a human understandable language like English words, sentences, punctuation marks. So general जो साधु भाषा में जो use हो रहा है, so that all things are used. So इसका भी जो है, so conversion, that is language processor or converter from the high level language to machine language by using the two translators called compiler and interpreter. There is a slight difference between the compiler and interpreter. What is this compiler and interpreter? You see, so compiler is nothing but all the instructions at the same time if it converts into machine language, that we know as a एक साथ में सारा instructions को conversion करेगा and compile करेगा. So then we use the compiler language. मतलब सारा इंस्ट्रक्शंस लिखने के बाद भी कंपाइल करना है, उसके बाद भी आपके एरर्स पता चलेगा. देन आफ्टर यू विल गेट टू रेक्टिफाई दैट एरर्स, देन यू एग्जीक्यूट द कोड, देन यू विल गेट द रिजल्ट. बट whereas in the case of interpreter, it executes the line by line code. Interpreter is also works in some of the languages, okay, which executes line by line. So जैसा कि आप, if you write one line only, you will get to know that where is the error or what is the result of this particular line. So that you can find easily with the help of this interpreter. And compiler case में आप लोग क्या करेगा? So it will convert the entire code, entire line of code of your program or instructions at the same time, and once if it finds any errors, so then rectify that error and converts into machine language. So what are the advantages of the high level language is that it is very independent and it works in all platforms, all machine compatible. So it is mostly understood by everyone. So it is easy to code as it is contains only English like sentences. So these are the main advantages of this high level language. The disadvantages of this language, you see, every language is having their own rules and regulations, I told. So the बहुत सारा language आ गया कि what they done is that, so शुरुआत जो languages में जैसा कि basic, COBOL, Pascal, Fortran, C, C++, Java are some of the examples of the high level languages. So what they concentrate is that rather than coding or rather than the logic, they concentrate more on syntax only. So that they concentrate more on logic rather than logic part, they concentrate more on rules and regulations only. So in the case of Java also same concept. So Java में भी क्या है? So we are done with the program coding with Java only. So I have to discuss with Java only. So Java में भी क्या है? Rather than the logic part of the program, they concentrate more on about syntaxes, rules and regulations बहुत ज़्यादा है. So धीरे धीरे implementation, okay, we got the next approach called as a object-oriented programming approach, where we can reuse or और कोड और reusability जो है concept है object oriented programming approach में है, so which is called as OOPS concepts. We are having the different several OOPS concepts. So with the help of this OOPS concept, we can reuse the code, reusability option, compatibility option. Okay, that all options we got in this durability options, all options we got in the object-oriented programming approach. Whereas in the case of procedural programming approach, they concentrated more on rules and regulations rather than the logic. Okay, then what is non-procedural language, which is called as a fourth generation language? So till now, in the case of procedural or the object-oriented programming approach, so what they consider is how to solve the problem with the help of the rules and regulations. But in the case of non-procedural, so what is required directly, direct shot, माने क्या चाहिए, माने ये data से तुमको result क्या चाहिए? So directly they concentrate rather than what is required, rather than how it is to be done. Okay, they concentrate more on what is to be required rather than how it should be done. So what is required directly, it is specified and the rest gets done on its own. Okay, the main aim of this fourth generation language is to cut down the development and maintenance time and make it easier for the user. Definitely, rather than the code making में, code development में और code error solving में, testing phase में, वो सब को cut करके directly what is to be required. So they concentrate more on that. The user interacts with like this software, which is integral part of this fourth generation language, and turns interacts with the system to get work done very fast. So like what nowadays you are seeing the word process, spreadsheets, or the like Excel, DBMS, that is database management system. All the graphical softwares are some of the examples of the fourth generation language. Okay, ना इसमें मतलब कोड लिखने के इतना ज़्यादा नहीं होगा, directly required what is to be required. So what result you need from this particular data. So that only is concentrated on this non-procedural language, and we are going for the procedural language, that is high level language. So one of the object oriented approach, that is Java language we are doing. So program coding by using the Java we are concentrating. So I told that there are different translators and language processors available. That is, in the case of high level language, I told compiler and interpreter. So let's see that what is compiler and what is interpreter. A compiler converts, HLL stands for high level language program, into machine language at one go. That I just now I told that at one go instances at a time, at the same time. It converts the entire high level programming at a time and reports all the errors of the program along with their line numbers. So आप लोग मान लीजिए एक प्रोग्राम में 10 लाइन्स लिखा है, 10 लाइन्स लिखने के बाद जैसा कि 6th और 7th लाइन में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, so 10 लाइन्स लिखने के बाद once you click on the compilation button, so if it the 6th and 7th line में errors है, so it will report in the 6th line, 7th line, highlight करके, so there you have to rectify that errors, and again if you compile, then your program will get executed, and if you debug it, and if you fix that bug, debug in the sense fixing the error, bug means error. Okay, bug in the sense, bug in the case of computer terms, bug means error, debugging means fixing the error. Okay, after the program is debugged, it is recompiled, and after that compiler is loaded in the memory as object program is available. That is the case of compiler. And what is interpreter? Interpreter is also a language processor which converts the high level program into machine language by converting and executing it line by line. So जैसा कि here आप लोग जो देखा है 10 लाइन्स को लिखने के बाद ये कंपाइलर काम होगा, बट इन द केस ऑफ इंटरप्रेटर एक लाइन लिख के उसको कंपाइल करके उसको आउटपुट देखना चाहते हैं, दैट यू कैन सी. So examples of the interpreter languages, that is Python programming language is one of the example of the interpreter. They use the interpreter rather than the compiler. So it is therefore any error in any line, it reports at the same time, and the program execution cannot be resumed till the error is rectified. Okay, program execution cannot be resumed till the error is rectified. The interpreter must always be present in the memory every time, so the program is executed after that. So for error or for debugging, interpreter is very useful as it reports the errors immediately rather than the after execution of the program. So जैसा कि आप लोग कंपाइलर में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, जैसा प्रोग्राम में मान लीजिए 100 लाइन्स है, 100 लाइन्स का प्रोग्राम आप लोग लिखा है, उसमें अगर कहीं पे भी 4-5 लाइन्स का कोड है, उसमें मैंने इफ यू वांट टू फाइंड द प्रोग्राम errors, so it is very difficult in the case of compiler, but in the case of interpreter, as it is done executing line by line, so we can get that errors identification or errors debugging, all things can be done very fast, and you can immediately rectify the errors and you get the program executed very fastly. So unnecessary usage of memory, unnecessary time or a lot of time will be consumable with in the case of interpreter. That's why the modern programming languages are all coming with the help of interpreter only. So earlier programming languages are done with the help of the compiler case. So all the modern programming languages are using interpreter only. So therefore, a combination of interpreter and compiler is an ideal option for the high-level translation, high-level language to the machine code. So for initial error removal, an interpreter can be used and the program can be compiled, enabled by the removal of language translator from the memory. A programming approach I told. So programming approach can be done with using the procedural program and is object-oriented program. So procedural programming that is you see that it concentrates on how to solve the problem. It focus on methods and process for which software which you are using. And whereas in object-oriented program, so they are concentrating what is to be required. They are concentrating more on what is to be required, and they are using the concept of reusability and their behavior. A program written in the object oriented program is simple, and if you want to change the requirements whenever you want, you can change it immediately as per your application. It is a platform independent, so you can use in any of the platform. But whereas in the case of the procedural structured programming, you cannot use in other platforms if you developed in one software. जैसा कि आप लोग विंडोज ने डेवलप कर दिया, so that you cannot use in the Mac platform, माने Mac OS में आप कर नहीं पाएगा. But whereas in the object oriented programming, so it is a platform independent and you can run in all the programming languages. So as we are dealing with the Java, the next class will discuss next recorded session. We'll discuss about Java's introduction, so where it is originated, and what is the need to requirements in your system, what are the softwares you need to require, and how to program in the Java programming, what are the different components of the program of the Java, and what are the different basic components available in the Java, what are the different data types, what are the different variables, okay, how to execute the program, how to run the program in the Java, what are the basic terms, what is the history of the Java, that we'll learn in the next class. What are the different characteristics, that all things we'll do in the next class. So today this is a program coding introduction. In this coding we discussed about what are the different types of the languages, that is different generations, and we reviewed the algorithm and flowchart. So algorithm is the just problem solving phase mein, but implementation we can be done with the help of coding. So that can be done with the help of the programming language. So that language we've seen that how the generations are being developed. So we've seen the 4 generations of the language, that is first generation, second generation, third generation and fourth generation. The first generation is nothing but a machine language where it deals with the zeros and ones. उसमें क्या advantages है कि fast execution है, but disadvantages is that more errors will come as it deals with the zeros and ones only. Second generation mein they rectified that they used the special simple symbolics that is called as a mnemonics. But what is the problem in this assembly language is also it is that it is not very user friendly and it is not easily understandable by everyone. उसके बाद जो आया था language, that is high level language. So high level language is done with the help of high level language we done with the help of how to solve the problem. So high level language we used the 2 language translator, that is compiler and interpreter. So that all things we see. Different programming approaches we are having, that is procedural and the non-procedural programming approach. Non-procedural में आप लोग concentrate करेंगे what is to be required rather than how it is to be done. Non-procedural approach में what is to be required rather than how it is to be done. Okay, that we seen. So this is about the basic introduction of the programming language. Okay, why we need the programming, that also we seen. What is the need of the programming is that we need the programming. Why we need the programming? Is compulsory that we need the programming? Yes, definitely. You are using all the applications, you are using the mobile application, you are using the computers or laptops, but you don't know how to program. What is the back end of that particular application, or what is the back end of that particular software which you are being used. इसलिए तो आप लोग program coding basics you should know. So what needs to be done and what data we have to work upon, what result or output we should produce from the help of the programming, that we know. Okay. Then after we learned about procedural approach and the non-procedural approach and the object-oriented approach. Java will come under object-oriented programming only. So Java programming will come under object-oriented programming. What is object-oriented programming? That I'll discuss. Then after introduction of the Java, we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you boys. Stay safe, stay home, be prepared. Uh, this is the last recording session before your puja vacation, and also the first recording session of the chapter 6 program coding. Wish you happy Dasara and wish you happy Durga Puja to you and your all your family and your colleagues. Thank you.